Welcome to Let's Talk Books Unscripted. This is episode 41. He always keeps track of it. I always have to ask him what number it is before I make our little thumbnail for our videos because I never remember.
Yes. So as you can tell by my voice that I am getting over a cold. And I completely lost my voice on Saturday.
Yeah, this is actually him sounding better than he did.
Yeah, this is the best. This is the best it has sounded in the last 2 days. So, if I don't talk as much this episode, that is why.
Yep.
I'm here for moral support and to help lift the books off the floor so we can show you.
Yes.
But I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I just sound horrible.
This doesn't sound great.
Our kids were like, "Dad, you sound different." I'm like, I really do. And I was just hoping that none of my customers stopped to talk to me today.
Yeah.
Because I was like, by the way, I can't talk very well. But I am drinking a kombucha tonight. It is a Island Bliss.
Any kombucha drinkers out there? I'm kind of like, about them. It's more his thing than mine, but there are some that we've tried where like I'll have part of one. I'm like good with like part of one. Like if we share one, it has to be the right one. There's a bunch of different kinds, but
hey Liz. Oh,
hey, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, my favorite kombucha are the ones that have cayenne pepper.
I know. I said to him before we started, I'm like, you need to get yourself one of the cayenne ones so it can like finish clearing you out, help your sinuses and everything. But
they're getting hard to find in our area, so I'll have to order online or something. But they're really spicy and they like they burn your nostrils when you drink it in the best way. They taste so good.
And then I'm not having a kombucha. I'm just having a winter spiced cranberry Sprite. Which I wouldn't necessarily recommend. We were just talking about that before we came on too. Like, I like just plain Sprite sometimes, but I love cranberry flavored stuff, especially in the wintertime. So I thought I'd give it a try, but it's just kind of, it's okay.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It was fun to try.
I like the bubbles, you know, like with the soda right now. So that's what I'm having. But yeah, let's get to the books. The first one we're going to talk about is one that we both have read. So we've had a handful in 2024 that we both read, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we did a ton of buddy reads, but it is fun when we can both read the same book and talk about it
Probably
afterwards.
like eight.
And have like a little mini book club between the two of us.
Maybe 8 books.
Well, and then there's the ones now that you're reading with book club. So it's not just the two of us, but like that we're both, you know, reading those ones. So that's pretty fun. But this is one that Corey just finished up. I did manage to finish it before 2024 ended, but I was reading it after Christmas. But yeah, still finished it before December closed out. But this is the one that Corey was really, really hyping up on here. Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger. I know Corey doesn't want to do a lot of talking, but I will let him share his thoughts, but I'll share mine first. I wasn't immediately into this, which is kind of a bummer because it's like a super short book too for it being a novella. So that's kind of like a for me if I'm not like immediately grabbed, because I feel like then you don't have much of a book like to begin with, you know. But then I started to get into it. I ended up giving it 4 stars total. So that's still a good rating, but because I would say in like I don't know, maybe like the whole second half, or maybe before I got to the second half, I was like starting to get into it. But the issue I had was that there were not proper labels with the chapters. So it's actually kind of confusing because it time hopped and then it was told it was like 2 different things were happening. Like, and then the chapters were not labeled properly. So it almost took me like till I was halfway down a page sometimes to figure out like, oh, now we're back where this happened, or like now this is happening. So it would kind of go to the past, it would come to the present, but then there were 2 different things happening in the present. So it was just kind of confusing, and normally I'm not all that confused. I can follow stuff like that in a book, but that was kind of frustrating to me. I'm just like, that could have been an easy fix, like an easy thing to do. So I've never read anything else by this author, so I don't know if that's just like, this is what she does and that's her writing style, which I would struggle with that then if I decided to read anything else by her. But I did like it. It was entertaining. It ended up being satisfying. I liked the plot and the characters, and I felt like, and I definitely did not guess the ending, so I felt like I was surprised, which is a good thing.
For sure.
I might have said a lot of the things that you would say too, but if you want to add anything.
So if you're just hopping on, I lost my voice, so I'm going to not talk as much. But I will say, I finished this last night. I agree with Katie with a lot of the things. I gave it 4 stars as well. I thought it was good. I thought the ending was good. I thought the storyline was really good. And there's a lot of creative things in it. But the biggest critique was the hopping around storylines and then going back between the characters and not being super clear
on who
where you were,
what story,
where you were.
What part of the story we were on. Yeah.
But I think it was good. I mean, it is a book you could read any time of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
don't feel like you need to read it around Christmas. I mean, there was a creepy Santa mask, a part of it
at one point,
and it took place
at Christmas time,
like leading up till Christmas Eve. It was 10 years in the future of when the first thing happened that involved the main character, and it was kind of like the 10-year anniversary of that event.
But I would say like this could really make an excellent winter thriller in general. So like now that we're in January, you could read it in February. I mean, you could really read it at any time. It's clearly not a happy, joyful Christmas book. Yeah. It does have Christmas in the title, but it takes place around Christmas.
It's definitely not happy.
And no.
There's snow on the ground for the whole book. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, you could read it now. You don't need to wait till next Christmas season. But if you like the vibes of that, then put it on your TBR for next year. But
I would recommend it.
I would, especially for something different. If you either don't read all the cheesy rom-com Hallmark books, or if you just want to change it up and you want to throw in a thriller, this would be a good one.
I wouldn't say it was as good as I was hoping, but I would recommend it. And it was very entertaining, and the ending was on point.
Yes.
Very, I don't know, shocking. And
I didn't guess. I didn't guess.
The twist was on point, I would say. So Christmas presents. We'll stop talking about this one now.
Yeah.
Unless someone wants to read it and talk to us about it.
Yes.
That'd be. That was exhausting. Need my kombucha.
Yeah. Take a drink. But yeah, so we just wanted to talk about one that we both read recently, but now we want to jump into a bunch of books that we just got over the weekend, and then I just got 2 to my doorstep earlier this evening from Book of the Month. I don't have my aardvark ones yet, so I will show those the next time that we come on here for our beer and books one, or next week when we come on again for this, but I will show those. But yeah, I'll start with Book of the Month first. So this one I actually had the privilege of listening to on audio from Penguin Random House Audio. So I just became an influencer with them recently, and that is really exciting because I get access to their app where you can go and kind of see what books are coming out soon that you would want to review, and you can listen to them ahead of pub date. And I'm also discovering you can listen to books that are already published, and I have access to those. So I'm like, well, that's cool. So I think just as long as I tag them and thank them for the access to the audiobook, I can listen to whatever they have available on there, whether it's not published yet or it already is published. But no, I was able to listen before this one, and technically this actually is still not out, so that's kind of funny. So Book of the Month was able to get it early as well. So this publishes on January 14th. So that's next week.
Really?
So I'm holding technically an early copy. Even it doesn't say ARC on it or anything. This is a Book of the Month copy, but it is gorgeous. I had to have a physical copy of this. The back is really, really cool too. It's like a shadow of them skating there. But I feel like this is kind of like the book of the hour right now. I feel like so many people are talking about it. And so I plan on reading the physical book as well. So this isn't just a shelf trophy. I am going to crack it open and I'm going to read it because I think it'll be cool to do it that way and not just the audiobook. But the audiobook was amazing. So I highly recommend that. And I'm sure reading the physical book will be great. But if you weren't catching the name of it and the author, it is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I don't think this is her first book.
Very nice.
She might have one other. I'm not positive. Oh no.
Yeah.
Two others. Okay.
They Never Learn and Temper.
Yeah. But this is phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about it. I think she said in her...
Oh, Mary got it.
Yay, you got the favorites too.
Good choice,
So
good choice.
I want to say she said it in her acknowledgments or something at the end when I was listening to the audiobook that she got to meet Taylor Jenkins Reid and like kind of pick her brain. And I think she kind of like inspired her, which I can very much see because this book is kind of like Daisy Jones and the Six, only it's ice dancing and Winter Olympics. So if you loved Daisy Jones and the Six, I think you will love this. I don't even think you need to be a fan of the Olympics or ice dancing to enjoy it, but that definitely helped me because I'm a fan of both of those things. So it just like heightened my experience that much more. But there's drama and intrigue and, you know, like scandal, as it says on the front. There's a love story. I wouldn't say it's like overly, I wouldn't call it like strictly a love story. I think somebody also asked me about that when I posted a review on Instagram.
Okay.
There is a love story, but it's not 100% focused on it. It's just a very strong female character, even just kind of her standing on her own 2 feet too. But yeah, I loved it so much. Like I went and did my 2024 wrap up, you know, of like my top 10 favorites. And I'm like, I might have been a little preemptive on that because this was my very last book of 2024. And I made that before I finished it.
Where would it sit?
And I feel like it would almost maybe take the place of one of my other ones. I don't know.
Really?
Or I would have like a top 11 or something. I don't know. Because I did have like 2 other contenders as well. So technically I had like 12. You know, I like put those on a slide on Instagram too. But it was so good. I already can't wait to read the physical book. It's done in like an interview format or parts of it, which is like Daisy Jones and the Six, if you have read that. So that's kind of cool because it tells the story from a bunch of different people's perspective. So they're being interviewed about like the whole experience.
And the audiobook has a cast of characters.
It's a full cast.
Just like Daisy Jones.
Yep. I always forget his name. He's like a commentator for the Olympics and stuff now, and
Johnny
I think he
Weir.
used to skate as well.
Yeah, Johnny Weir.
He is one of them,
Yeah.
so that's pretty fun. Yeah,
That's
Johnny
cool.
Weir does one of the
voices?
characters, one of the voices.
That's awesome.
Yep. So I highly recommend the audio if you do audiobooks, and then just read the physical book. Read it, however, I highly recommend it.
Just do both.
Yep, do both. And then the other one I got is one that I'm already currently reading. So yeah, these were like shelf trophies, but also I'm gonna finish reading this book physically. I was reading it digitally, so I was reading it on my Kindle up until today. But now I will switch to the physical. I got the advanced e-arc or whatever you want, or it's an e-arc. Is I think technically what you call that, advanced copy from the publisher, from Celadon Books. Celadon Books is the one who does this one. And so I was reading it on my Kindle, but now I am excited to finish it up physically. This is What Happened to the McRaes by Tracy Lang. She has become an auto-buy author for me, for sure. So I have both We Are the Brennans and The Connollys of County Down by her. I loved We Are the Brennans. That one did end up in my top 10 for 2024. That's like the book I think that really got me into like some family drama type stories. I know you're into that too.
Best.
But yeah, just like the family drama, family trauma, all of that, which isn't really very warm and fuzzy, but it does make for a good story, and she's a really good author. So I really enjoy her. I'm sure she's not for everyone. And it's funny because I struggle with slower paced books, but with her, I get like really immersed in her stories. And I think it's just a testament to how good of a writer she is. Mm-hmm. So I highly recommend checking out Tracy Lang. I didn't like her second book as much as We Are the Brennans, but I still liked it just fine. And I'm really excited to get further into this one. I'm already really, really enjoying it. It's got like icicles and snow on the cover. So it's definitely like a perfect one, in my opinion, to be reading during the winter time, since I'm like a mood reader like that. And so it came out at a perfect time, or I should say is coming out. I think this one also has not officially published yet either. So I want to say that one is January 14th too. So yeah, it's kind of fun. They have like 2 early releases. And,
Score,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those just came today.
Yeah, just came today.
This afternoon.
Yes, late this afternoon.
A few hours ago.
Mm-hmm. Very fresh. I don't know if you want to take a turn. I know your voice is not doing so well, but if you want to talk about maybe a couple of the books.
So if you saw in the stories or our posts on Saturday, you know that we went book shopping. Yeah. We had some money from Christmas. We had a gift card. We're going to use
another gift card to use.
Yes, we're going to go again on Thursday to one more bookstore in our area. But we had book shopping on Saturday, and we bought 11 books.
Yep.
We got 11 books.
Yep.
I'm new to your channel. Oh, thank you. Breezy.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for watching. Yes. Sorry, I'm a little weird sounding.
Hopefully his voice will be back to normal next
time
we are on here.
It better be back by Monday.
So here's the
we went book shopping.
Yeah. I know, right? Man, it's a little, it's you don't feel as guilty. Not that I normally feel guilty after book purchases, but, you know.
Yeah,
Barnes it's nice spending somebody else's money.
And the sad part is at Barnes & Noble, $25 doesn't go very far.
No, but we still had, like, money, though, from his parents that we could use anywhere on anything. And I don't think he was surprised to find out that I was planning to use most, if not all of it on books, so...
I call that free books.
Exactly.
I mean, you're not wrong.
For sure.
It was fun. We spent some of our money, but
yes, it's just,
whatever.
Just fun. Yeah.
We love buying books. So that was just a fun day. We got coffee, and we went shopping. We went to 2 places. And
I went to a book swap prior to that too. Actually.
And she went.
So no, part of the 11 is the so 2 of them were from that.
So 2 were from a book swap. So it was like.
So I did have to bring 2 books to be able to get 2 books. So technically it wasn't free, but because I had purchased, like was one of the other.
But at the end of the day, there was 11 new books, and we fit them all into the book bag.
Yep.
Which was
we had
awesome.
People guess, which was fun.
We could have probably fit one more, but 11 was good. So 2 of the books I picked out myself. The other were kind of for both of us.
But mostly me going crazy. But they are books that Corey would probably read, or at least some of them.
So we're going to show those now.
Yeah.
So my first book was one I didn't really have anything in mind on Saturday. But at both the bookstores, there was a book that I saw. It was called Entitlement. And it was by this author, Ruman Alam. And I really wanted to get it, but I knew nothing about him. And looking at his...
Did you look it up on Goodreads or something?
Yeah, looking at his list of books, I saw that this was an earlier book that he wrote that was very well known. It's called Leave the World Behind. It's a read with Jenna book and a finalist for the National Book Award. So I wanted to read this one first. And although there was a signed first edition of the book Entitlement,
I think you need to go back and get it.
I couldn't quite pull the trigger on it, but this one looks really good. I don't know.
It's a thriller, right?
It's a thriller. Yeah. It's a thriller, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
As you know from previous videos, I always buy books that are up for awards or have won awards. So if you know anything about this book, if you read it, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I'm going to read this, then I'll definitely go back and get his new book, Entitlement, because that one is like...
It looks... I haven't read the
It's all about... It's pretty much everything I enjoy. Wealth and spoiled people and family drama. So
yeah, what is that phrase? It's like something about... Is it bad people doing bad things, or I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody can help me out with that phrase, but...
But that was my first book, so it's on my shelf for a future reading session. Could be this year.
Maybe sooner rather than later.
I think so. I'm excited.
And then the next, do you want a break? We can come back to that one.
That'd be great.
Corey's voice needs a break.
A cough.
The one that I definitely had on my radar, well, I mean, I would say almost all of these, like, were on my radar for sure. But this one, I specifically said to Corey that I'm like, we need to look for this one, get it somewhere. This was literally the last, I believe Leave the World Behind is a movie on Netflix. Oh, well, there you go.
Really?
That'd be cool to check out.
That'd be perfect.
But then I'd probably want to read it too before we would watch the movie. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, thank you. I'll check that out.
That's cool.
Yes.
I'm trying to, I know, because I feel like it sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
It
to me.
does sound
like
familiar.
when you grabbed the book, I was like, I feel like that's not the first time I heard
Yeah.
that. But yeah, the book that I really wanted to get somewhere and was glad to find it was the last copy that I saw anyway at Barnes and Noble. Is Watch Your Back by Terry Parlato. So I was really bummed that Aardvark didn't have it for January because they've had two of her other books. All the Dark Places will always hold a special place in my heart because that was my very first Aardvark book. So yeah, they had not been around very long before I joined, so I didn't really miss out on too many months, before I decided to join. But that was my very first book. Loved it, and then she has What Waits in the Woods. It's
Yes,
not What Lies in the
What
Woods.
Waits
I think
in
it's
the
What
Woods.
Waits in the Woods. Yep. And then Watch Your Back. So this one just came out, I think, at the end of December. So I thought for sure, it's going to be one of their January choices, and it wasn't. And so I don't know what goes into that. I feel like for some reason they just can't get an author's new book for whatever reason, because they have had repeat authors before, so they do that. But yeah, I don't know why it wasn't picked, but I was like, well, it's not going to match my other Aardvark ones, and that's okay. It's still a really great nice hardcover. This is like raised, like the letters here. It's a really cool cover. Yeah, she writes excellent thrillers. I really like her writing style. You have not read What Waits in the Woods, but you read All the Dark Places.
Yes,
and he really enjoyed it.
That one was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a thriller,
we both really enjoyed that.
Keep you guessing, mystery.
Mm-hmm. And what's cool is like these are all standalone stories, but I do think there are some crossover characters between a couple of the books. But then the one character that does stay the same is the detective in all of them. Mm-hmm. So her name is Rita, and she's a very likable character.
Oh, yeah.
So she'll be back in this one, solving a new case. And yeah, so it's like I wouldn't necessarily call it a series, but like something on your face.
Yeah. So this was our free book from Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, that's basically what our card got us.
Well,
I didn't even win over.
It was $28. The gift card is $25. So this was free.
Yeah, pretty much free in my book. Yeah.
This was free from my sister.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carly. Thank you.
Yep.
So I'm excited about this one too. So this is.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to read that one real soon.
We were kind of both like looking forward to this book coming out, and I actually forgot that it was like, it's time.
It's out, yeah.
And Barnes & Noble, this was literally the
last copy. I was not seeing it, and I was like, come on, you gotta be kidding me. And it was like, it wasn't facing front. I was just like looking super close, and it was sideways, and it was just like by itself, like next to other one. I did not see any other copies besides that one. It was our lucky day.
It was meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gripping. Yes, that looks really good.
Yes. And then let me show the ones I got from my book swap. That was fun. I've never been to a book swap before. This was it was funny though. I was telling my friends who know that I like to own books and I'm never really in the business of getting rid of books. Even ones that I didn't love, I still am like, well, I just like to have them. Like I want to have a home library. I don't really like to get rid of books.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, fine. So like there was one that I had lent to my friend who was putting on the book swap, and I wasn't interested in finishing it. It was one that I started, and I was like, eh. She's like, well, why don't you just do that one? Like I already have it. And like she ended up reading it and liking it, but she's like, let's just put that one in. And then I brought one more. I was able to find one more that I was willing to part with. So it was, if you've ever been to a book swap before, maybe you haven't, it's like however many books you bring obviously is then how many you can take if you want. Like if I had only found one, then that's fine. But I contributed 2, so I did walk away with 2. And these were ones that were already on my radar, so that's great. The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. I still have yet to read The Housemaid, which I'm going to read before I read this one.
You've read none of her books, right?
I've not read any of her books yet. So I have I have The Housemaid series. I don't have the novella. Like a couple people were telling me the other day when I made a post about the Housemaid, and then her other 2, they're like, don't forget the novella. And I have seen it around, but I have it waiting for me on my Kindle then. So I do not have that one physically. I don't even know if it's available in physical form, but I think it, and for those of you who have read them, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it falls between book 2 and 3. I want to say. So it's obviously much shorter than the other books. It's a novella. So yeah, I have it waiting for me on my Kindle, so I'll get to that one wherever it does fall in the mix. So I will not read this one first. I really want to get to The Housemaid because I feel like it's just been on my TBR and on my shelf for far too long. So let me know if you're a Frida McFadden fan. I've heard that people eat her stuff up like crack. Like that's kind of what I've heard. Yeah. Or candy or whatever you say. But then I know that there's plenty of people who are not a fan. So I feel like it's like you either love her, I don't like to use the word hate, but dislike her stuff.
Not
like
your style.
Yes, you can't win them all. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one eventually. I've heard mostly good things. So that was a good grab. And then Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood. I made sure from the person who brought it that I don't need to read her first one first, because I guess these are standalones, but I feel like I've seen the numbers next to them on Goodreads, so I don't think I'm making that up. So that's why I was like, I want to make sure that I didn't need to read a different one first. But she has like The Love Hypothesis, then there's like Love Theoretically is another one, but this one is Love on the Brain. These are her STEM novels. I don't know how many she has now, but I've heard mostly good things about these. I've only read one other book by Allie Hazelwood, and that was Bride. So that one was like a bit of a stretch and very different than these ones from what I was told by other people who have read way more Allie Hazelwood. So I'm excited to go back and read these. I don't have any other ones in this series, so we'll see how I like it, and then I might want to get, acquire the other ones, but I basically got this one for free, so that's fun. Okay. And then, did you want to talk about your other one, or do you want me to still
keep going?
Keep going. Because you get a break there.
I need a longer break.
Okay, that's fair.
Catch my breath.
So let's see. What one do I want to talk about next? It disappeared. No, I hate that.
I'll check the phone.
Yeah, I don't know why the comments like disappear so quickly. I can't read them.
It's all right.
Or you'll try to check.
I'm on it.
Check that out for us.
I'm on it.
But the next one I'll talk about. Corey's not convinced I will like this book, but we will see, because I want to give it a go. Now that's going to distract me if you have the sound on next to you on your phone. But I've been eyeing up this book for did Mary say something?
Yeah, Mary's got to sign off. She got school starts back tomorrow.
Okay.
And my alarm goes off early.
Oh, okay.
I'll continue watching tomorrow.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Good luck with the alarm.
Yes.
That's never fun.
No. Yeah, this one I've had on my TBR or just like on my radar for a really long time, and especially this cover is just absolutely stunning. If you have read this one, let me know. How do you say it? It's Demon Copperhead. Which is do they call it a retelling, or it's inspired by Charles Dickens' David Copperfield, which I have not read, and it does say specifically in here that that's not a must. You don't have to read that in order to...
I found it for you at Barnes & Noble, but you didn't get it.
No, I did not.
It's a lot bigger than this book.
Yeah,
a lot thicker.
And that's a classic. This one is not. Maybe they would call it like I don't know if this would ever fall into the category of like a modern classic. I don't know, but I've heard really excellent things. I don't know that I've heard anything negative about it. So, and it was an Oprah's book club pick and winner of the Pulitzer Prize. So yeah, so I feel like for a while they didn't have this edition available, and it came back. So I was really excited to grab it. It is absolutely stunning. Like, look at that. Even if I don't end up absolutely loving this book, I'm just excited to have it.
It's
so pretty.
They used to have this edition in
hardcover I think, at Barnes & Noble. And then it was like, I didn't jump on it, and so they didn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was really sad. And so I was just like, I don't know how much I'll love the book. Maybe I'll just get it from the library. And I'm like, but no, I want to own it, and I want that one. And so when I saw it on the table at Barnes & Noble, I was like, oh my gosh. Yep, have to have it.
Must.
Yep.
Add to the bag.
It was time. Mm-hmm.
It is nice.
So if anyone has read it, let me know what you thought.
Yes, please.
One of my closest friends said she absolutely loved it. I don't know if she has said it's one of her favorite books ever, but she really enjoyed it. So, but I have heard that it's sad. I mean, it's like about a boy living in poverty is kind of the main theme there. Yeah, it's the story of a boy born to a teenage single mother in a single wide trailer with no assets beyond his dead father's good looks and copper-colored hair, a caustic wit, and a fierce talent for survival. Yeah. I think it'll be kind of a hard story to read, but also good. And then next up, this was one that I don't know where I saw it, honestly. Like, it must have come in through an email and I saw it pop up. I don't think I've seen it on social media yet, but this is from a local author. So she lives in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, I believe.
Ooh, yeah.
With her husband and their team of sled dogs. So that's fun. She's obviously a big nature lover, and this book is called Small Game by Blair Braverman. It's not brand new. I looked and saw that it published in, did I say 2022? 2021? 2022. But it looks like they're just now kind of advertising it, and it has a really cool cover. But it says right here at the top, gripping action in untamed nature, as if wild and into the wild gave birth to this thriller. So that's kind of cool.
That's pretty good.
So I'm really excited. It says propulsive and twisty, Small Game is a gripping thrill ride about human nature at its best and its worst. Yeah. I think it looks really good. I read you the back of it once we got
it does sound great
in the car to leave from, I think we were leaving Barnes & Noble, but I grabbed this one at, I think, like the indie bookstore that we went to first. So yeah, we went to an indie bookstore and then did Barnes & Noble. But yeah, this one looks excellent. It's like really nice and short too. So I feel like this is one that I'm gonna like be itching to read sooner rather than later too. I'm pretty excited about that. And then I have, whoa, okay, 4 more.
Wowza.
Yeah. I don't know. Am I supposed to say this word on here? I still really don't know the word. Don't know the rules, but I'll just show it to you. This girl's you know what. So this kind of just like reminds me of Dexter, only insert a female character instead, is what it kind of seems like that's gonna be like. So if you have watched Dexter, read the books, seems like it's gonna be kind of reminiscent of that. Ask Cordelia Black why she did it. The answer will always be he had it coming. Yeah, it looks really good. I think this was one that people were guessing could have been an aardvark pick at some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like another one of those. I think it was for aardvark, not book of the month, that people kind of thought maybe it would have been. And yeah, I don't remember when in 2024 that it published, but I don't think it's been out that long. A quick note about content warnings for this book. Well, so it does have a little thing in the front, FYI, in case you are interested in this book. I haven't even read it. I just noticed that was there. But
there's a lot of them.
I don't know, just a paragraph. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I think this one looks good. Oh no, slightly long chapters. I'll cry about it later. Slightly long chapters. I just flipped through the first chapter.
It might be pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good. Okay.
All right, so my second choice was a book that I have wanted for a while. When we got the Barnes & Noble, I had to go on my Goodreads and look through my TBR to be like...
You're like, oh yeah, I like
to remind
that one.
To remind myself what I wanted to buy. And this was the one I was like, yes, this is the one. And we did find it. It is called Fantastic Land. So this is a horror novel. It's about a theme park that was ravaged by a hurricane in Florida. And 5 weeks later, the authorities who rescue the survivors encounter a scene of horror. Yeah.
Creepy. It looks good. That's probably one that I'll read over the summer. I can already tell, because it looks like it might take place in the summer.
So presented as a fact-finding investigation and a series of first-person interviews. Fantastic Land pieces together the grisly series of events. And this one sounds really good, and it is nice and short. But, I mean, this is right up my alley. And
It'll probably be really good.
I will read it definitely before spooky season. I mean, honestly, like, I want to read both my new books really badly.
Yeah.
Which is one of the bad parts about going book shopping is because...
Then if you already have, like, books that you're currently reading or you want to stick to a plan, and then you kind of...
I have so many I want to read,
throw a wrench in
but
there.
it's like, now I want to read my 2 new books, and she wants to do the same with her new book, so it's like a never-ending dilemma.
Yeah, it sure is.
But it's the best
dilemma.
It's the best dilemma. So I already have my January hopefuls. If you saw our Beer and Books episode, you know what those are. If you haven't, go back and watch it on here. But if I finish up early,
right,
I could start one of my 2 new books and feel fine about it, right? But let me know if you read this one. I haven't seen a lot of buzz about it.
We saw it from our girl KK.
Yeah.
That's where we saw.
I mean, she's into horror, so
yeah.
I know
that was cool to see her.
I know everyone's not,
I hadn't heard of it until she mentioned it.
Kind of a horror thriller, investigative mystery.
It looks thrilling.
It looks
enthralling,
scary and fun, but not fun. Creepy. It's like one of those scary theme parks. Where
I wonder if we both read that and like it, if we'd want to read Hyde, which is by what's her name? Kirsten White. I'm trying to look up there behind you. She wrote Mr. Magic as well, which I have on my shelf up there that I've had on my shelf for far too long. It's one of my aardvark books that I'm gonna read that before spooky season because I can't keep waiting until another spooky season to read it. I mean, thrillers and horrors go anytime. So yeah,
it's always spooky season,
right? But no, she has a different one called Hyde, and it has a Ferris wheel in the front, like that. And I think it's like I don't know if they're similar stories, but it does take place at like an amusement park or something. That one too. Because I actually was gonna listen to it on audio this past spooky season, but I just had so many other audiobooks going that I just decided to move it along. I probably would want to read it physically, and we'll see like how I like Mr. Magic too, but oh my gosh, that book is quite beat up actually. So this next one that the next one I'm going to show you is called Still True. So this is also a Wisconsin author. We've been kind of trying to do that like for one of the months with my in-person book club. So this is the one that we chose for this year. I don't know what month we're reading this one in. I think it's a summer month that we're reading this. But they had quite a few copies of it at the indie bookstore. And so I bring it up and the girl's like, I think I have a used copy of that if you want that one instead. And I'm like, oh, sure. Like, yeah, let's save a little money. She brings it up. And in retrospect, I wish I would have taken a closer look at it before I walked out.
You should have. Yeah.
Because I'm like, I probably would have just spent the extra to have a nice copy. But the best part is she comes up, she's like, it's a little, what'd she say? Like, it's just a little...
It's a little banged up.
And we're like, a lot banged up. Like somebody literally spilled coffee on it.
Someone was reading it in the bathtub or something.
I don't know, but it's okay. I'll still be able to read it.
It's readable.
It's just that like the outside is not great. But I made sure that like the inside pages were fine. It's not like, it's ripped up or anything. But anyway, it's called Still True by Maggie Ginsberg. It's definitely like a family drama, like secrets from the past come up kind of thing. So it looks like it'll be very good and probably will create some really good discussion. So that one is an in-person book club choice for later in the year. And then this one, I have not seen much about it, but Barnes & Noble did have its little sticker on it that I took off now. Can't stand those stickers. Saying that it was like one of their monthly picks or something. So, so I'm sure it's good. I saw a friend share it like on her, I think on her social media or maybe in one of her emails. I subscribed to some of her bookish emails and saw it there. But yeah, I haven't heard anyone else talking about it, but it's called The Most by Jessica Anthony. And I guess the other book by this author is called Enter the Aardvark. It's kind of an interesting title.
I love it.
Okay, so I guess she's the author of 3 previous books. Most recently, the novel Enter the Aardvark. She's a finalist for the New England Book Award in Fiction, a recipient of the Creative Capital Award in Literature. She lives in Portland, Maine. The Most achieves the impossible. It says something new about marriage. This is a 21st century literary classic waiting to happen. It's like teeny tiny. How many pages is it?
It's pretty cool.
I think this is a novella. This would be considered a novella because it's really short.
And the whole book takes place over like an 8-hour span.
Yeah. Like this wife is just like sitting in their family pool while her husband and I think their kid go do something else. Like, so it's like, it may like sound like it could be a really boring premise, but I'm sure it tells the story of their marriage. You know, it's like, I'm going to guess she's reflecting on things like while she's just hanging out in their pool. Like, I don't know. It's very intriguing to me. It's 133 pages.
That's it.
So I could easily read this in one sitting, like for sure.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah, and I do think it falls into historical fiction category because it takes place in November of 1957. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of want to read I'll read the description to you because, I don't know, maybe you put it on your radar too. And it looks like, it's like super easy read. It is an unseasonably warm Sunday in November 1957. Kathleen, a college tennis champion turned Delaware housewife, decides not to join her handsome husband Virgil and their 2 young boys at church. Instead, she takes a dip in the swimming pool of her family's apartment complex. And then she won't come out. Set over the course of 8 hours, the most breaches the shimmering surface of a seemingly idyllic marriage, immersing us in the unspoken truth beneath. So, yeah, I don't know. Sounds like it's something different.
Interesting.
But, like not really like anything else I've read, I guess. So, and then are we on our last one? Okay.
That's it.
Last but not least, is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I don't even think I started. What's that one called? How to Sell a Haunted House? Does that seem right?
How to Sell a Haunted
I got it from the library, like, I don't know when that would have been, maybe 2 spooky seasons ago. And I just didn't start it. I feel like I had heard through more than one person that it was not great. So I was just like, okay. Really? But of course, maybe they just don't like him as an author either. So I know that could be like subjective. So if I like this one, I may try to read, may actually try to read that one. So I don't even think I started it. It wasn't like it was a DNF. I just like didn't even start it. I returned it to the library. But yeah, he's got a handful of books. And a while back, I think I put in my stories on Instagram, I like kind of just held up some of them and had people vote and say like which one they liked best from those by this author. So I was just curious, to kind of see like which is the one I'm going to buy first from him. And so, yeah, a lot of people said this one. So, yeah, so I didn't buy it that day when I did that in my stories, but then thought, okay, yeah, I'll get it over the weekend. And it has like the coolest cover. It looks like super retro, like it has like these, like this is part of the cover. It's not like a sticker that comes off. It says staff pick on the back, and it looks like an old VHS. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. So this does fall into the horror category. This book packs all the magic of a summer horror flick. And I was noticing that each chapter is the title of an 80s song.
Awesome.
We Got the Beat.
Nice.
Don't You Forget About Me. And I'm going to like be singing the tune like before I start each chapter. I'll probably have it like stuck in my head as I'm reading through.
It's kind of got like a Stranger Things kind of.
Yeah, it does kind of give me that Stranger Things vibe a little bit.
But with an exorcism instead.
But I'm sure I'm going to want to read this one with the lights on and maybe not at bedtime. So we'll see. But I am excited.
We got a lot of creepy horror thriller books. Yeah,
kind of have a theme going on here a little bit.
That's what we were feeling, I guess.
I guess. I read too much romance last year, so I'm like, oh, I need some other things.
Something different.
Who likes happy, feel-good things? I mean, lots of people, but
Can you grab that quick?
Which one? This?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is still still time if you want to join our virtual book club. We are meeting on the 19th of this month. And the book we are reading, if you don't know already, is The Last One at the Wedding by Jason Rekulak. I started this earlier today. And I'm already hooked. Yeah. I'm already hooked.
Like short chapters.
I'm already hooked. It's got a lot of my favorite themes in it. But yeah, so there's still time if you want to join. Message Katie on here or on any of those social medias. We can get you hooked up with the book club. But this will be the book. If you've read it, feel free to join in. If not, there's still time. It's quick. I think it'll be a quick read.
Yeah.
You got
Doesn't look super long.
You have 13 days. Yeah, it's just over 325 pages.
Pretty average.
But I think this will be a good discussion book, and I don't know. I have a feeling it'll be my favorite book club book so far.
You did really like We Used to Live Here.
I did.
We all did. That one was just so messed up, though.
It might.
We'll see.
I think this will be messed up too.
Yeah, but maybe we won't be quite as confused by the ending. Hopefully, I don't know. I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to soon.
I'm only 7% in, so but I am hooked. It does hook you immediately.
That's good.
So I know some people in our book club have already finished it. We have a group chat.
Where we talk
where we kind of can
talk about other stuff too, but
spoiler free.
Yes.
Share our thoughts and ways to get the book and listen to it or read it. And people I think are liking it so far.
Yeah.
It said it's very much a mystery
and not like overly creepy or scary.
Yeah.
So if you're not into horror or like way too scary of a thriller, then this could be a good option.
So still time. Definitely would love to have you in the club. Our discussions are pretty fun.
Yeah.
We do it over on Google Meet.
Yes.
We usually have about a dozen people.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty.
I mean, our book club's
average.
Pretty big.
Yeah, the group on Instagram is larger, but of course we have some people that just can't make it on that particular night for whatever reason, but still like to chat in the group and stuff. So
discussion's good, and everyone's very honest, and it's fun. It's fun time.
Yep. Well, I think that's all we got. We're gonna give Corey's voice a rest
so
that he can get it back for the next time we come on here.
Hopefully by next Monday I'm back to tip-top shape.
But let us know if there's any books you've gotten recently that you are excited to read.
And we're going shopping again on Thursday.
Yes, Corey has the day off randomly. What do they call that? A day of mourning?
Yeah, it's a day of...
And he gets that because he's a government employee.
National Day of Mourning for the death of President Jimmy Carter.
Yes.
So I'll have off on Thursday. So we're going to celebrate. Well, not celebrate.
Not celebrate, but I don't know what you want to call it.
I guess
we'll buy a few books in his honor. You can say that. But yeah, we do have a gift card to go to a different place that we've talked about before. It's called The Bookstore. It's not a very original name, but it is an indie bookstore that we like.
It's mostly used books, so our gift card would go a little further. We could probably get 3 books.
They do have they have a selection of new books, but it is smaller than their used selection. So and then we'll bring our littlest with us. She's actually our easiest, honestly. Like, she's just patient and comes along and doesn't really complain or ask when we're leaving or cause trouble.
That's true.
The last time I took her to the bookstore was actually kind of nice. Like, she just followed me around and so we'll take her when the big kids are at school on Thursday.
So we'll have some more new books to show you next week.
And then my aardvark books will arrive too.
Aardvark will get here, and we'll have another topic to talk about next week.
Yes.
If you have any ideas, let us know. If you have any questions, quick, you can ask them right here.
Or if you think of them later, that's fine too.
If you ask a question,
you could always, even if this is done and we have it posted and we're not on here anymore, you can still feel free to go to the comments and ask something and we can address it on our next one. So,
Yes, so thank you for watching. I hope you liked the books. Comment below if you like or read any of them. And hit the thumbs up button, please.
That would be great. And
Thumbs
subscribe if you don't subscribe yet.
Thumbs up is key. I don't know why, but just do it.
We appreciate all the watching and the supporting, and
we love everyone.
All of that. Have a great rest of your night.
Bye-bye.